Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. Building my Swale food forest means not only planting lots of plants, but a diverse array of plants. Today I'm going to fill in this end of my Swale berm with a variety of small native trees. And while I'm doing that, I'll explain why diversity is so important. At this end of my top swale, I have a black mulberry tree there and a Tagasasti tree that's been in the ground for some time. But other than that, there's no plantings. It's quite a large area really, so it could do with a bit more planting to support the mulberry and just help build that all-important soil. Recently my neighbour generously dropped in a tub of Australian native tube stock, which really needs to get into the ground. So today I'm going to grab 8 different ones and take them up to the area of my top swale that really needs filling in. Not many of them have labels, but this one does, and it's a prickly currant bush. This plant actually produces little currants which are edible, so I'm really excited to give this one a try. Okay, that's our 8. Hey, you too. I've got my trees, so let's decide where they're all going to go and get these into the ground. First things first, I like to just space out my plants. I might actually just do this section on the east side of the berm and get this filled in well. I can attack those other areas at another time. So once again, I'm not too worried about spacing. I'll just sort of space these plants evenly in this area and see how they all go. Well, that's my trees spaced out. Hopefully I find them all again in all of this grass and vegetation. What I'm going to do with planting is just clear the area around each plant, use that biomass to mulch it really well. I will be staking each of these little plants so that I don't go cutting it off in the future when I'm trimming all the grasses. This beautiful little flower is actually one of the cover crops that I planted when the swale was built. Most of my plantings weren't successful, but obviously some held on and created some seed, and it's slowly spreading around. The bees seem to love it. The creeping buttercup really loves wet, moist areas and does die back down in summer when it dries out. But these flowers are lovely. Also in this area that the bees are loving at the moment, and actually I don't want to get in and chop it down too soon, is this plant here, which I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like it's part of the rocket family. So I am leaving all of that at the moment and just concentrating on this area of the berm. I'm going to make a start with this little guy here and just clear an area so we can actually get it into the soil. We've had a bit of rain lately, so the soils are nice and damp, easy for digging, but also great for these small plants. Now that's quite a large space cleared for one small plant, but I will be using all this trimming just to mulch the area and help get it established. You don't need too big a hole to get these little plants in the ground. Makes it a lot easier. That's why I need to get them in the ground. They've been in these tubes for ages and really need to get started. When I've got them all in the ground, I'll come around, give them some water and mark them with a stake. Now I'm going to plant it sort of in the middle here, away from all these lovely flowers that the bees are enjoying. So I'll just clear a spot right in here. By just clearing holes instead of the entire area and then planting, it actually creates this nice protected area for these small plants to get going. By being mindful of the protection we provide for this little plant, means that its chances of survival in this spot are a lot greater. I am planting this fairly closely to my black mulberry tree, but it can handle semi-shade, so it should be fine here in the longer term. You can see in this area where we've mulched with the Diversifying, all those leaves are falling off and dropping to the ground, and that's adding to the organic material on the soil that's feeding the soil life. Okay, it's important not to lose your tools while you're out here doing all of this. I've got to go and find my spade now. That one's really small. I might just leave that sort of clear and mulch it once I get a stake onto it. It's really easy to lose plants around here. Right, on to the next one. Lots of plants in my food forest helps build soil. There are roots in the ground to feed the soil and leaf litter or chop and drop mulch which also provides nutrients to the soil. Plants shade the soil and increase moisture retention. Higher value plants benefit from these support trees which provide shelter from the wind, frost and the hot blazing sun in summer. With diverse planting, you get even more benefits. Birds, pollinators and other creatures enjoy a diversified habitat with different food sources and building materials for nests and homes. Diverse plantings may flower and seed at different times and provide foods continually throughout the year to our wildlife. Our wildlife in turn leaves their nutrient-rich deposits in the food forest, which provides more nutrition for our soil. The diversity also builds resilience to pests, diseases and variations in weather conditions. One plant species may suffer, but not them all. The system becomes more stable. I've decided to use these as markers because I'll lose the plants once they've been mulched. Well, that's the last plant I'm putting in this morning. All I need to do now is give them all a bit of water, find some stakes and get them clearly marked. These Diversifying branches make great stakes, so all I'll need to do is trim that up a bit and get 8 of them and we can mark all our plants. 1. Hard to spot them out there, which is why we've got the sticks That's another 8 plants in my Swale food forest. As I gain access to different plants, I'll be adding these in. Slowly, as the diversity increases, so too will the resilience of my food forest as the natural cycles and balance kicks in, and my productive trees will be at their happiest. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.